Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video for SAFfinance.com. You may have seen the headlines that the official CPI report just dropped, and it says inflation is down 2.4% for the last 12 months. On paper, that's a victory, but the experts are calling it a slowdown. But let me guess, your bank account didn't get the memo. You walk into a store and you look at the price of a steak or a bag of coffee, and you feel you're being gaslit. Today, we're going to look into the real data, and we're going to talk about why the basket they measure isn't your basket. And more importantly, how can we turn this into something that can be your greatest wealth building tool? Let's look at it. So if you don't know, the Consumer Price Index, or CPI, is just an average. It's a mix of goods and services for the average American. But here's the thing, nobody's actually average. The 2.4% number is being dragged down by two big outliers. Gasoline itself is down 7.5%, and used cars have dropped about 2%. If you aren't buying a used Honda Civic and you work from home, you don't feel that 2.4%. For myself, I personally don't rent or own a home right now, so part of the basket doesn't touch me. But I do eat, and if you eat, you feel the burn. Whether it's a quick drink at a convenience store or a meal out, the prices aren't just rising, they are accelerating in the areas that actually matter for daily survival. Let's look at the three biggest areas that have affected you, more than likely. If you're someone who drinks coffee all the time, coffee is up 18.3%. This isn't just corporate greed, it's a perfect storm. Climate shocks in Brazil and Vietnam have decimated harvests, and those import tariffs we've been hearing about are finally hitting your morning cup. Beef is up about 17%. The U.S. cattle herd is at its 70-year low. Farmers are looking at the price of feed and realizing they literally can't afford to keep their cows alive. They're shrinking their herds to survive, and that means your $6.69 pound ground beef is the new budget option. Electricity is up 3.6%. Why? Well, look at the horizon. It's all the data centers, AI and robotics are hungry for power, and they have deeper pockets than you do. As they scale, your local utility company is passing those infrastructure costs directly to your monthly bill. So what do you do? Honestly, in the short term, you have to be tactical. Are you willing to do a no beef month to save $100? It may sound small, but in this economy, every dollar is a seed. Have you done an energy audit? AI might be driving the price up, but you can fight back by shifting your usage to off-peak hours or cutting the vampire power in your home. Like, do you leave your computer on all the time? But scrimping and saving only gets you so far. If you want to stop worrying about inflation 20 years from now, you have to understand who benefits from it. Inflation is caused by many things, but at the end of the day, companies set the price. When prices go up, companies aren't just covering costs, they're protecting their margins. Think about it. If a company has a 10% profit margin and a product goes from $100 to $200, their profit will jump from $10 to $20. That's just how that works. They're going to keep their 10%, so they're going to raise the prices. This is where a price to earnings ratio comes in for a stock, which is the share price of a stock over the earnings per every share. If the market keeps at a 20 multiple of the what's called PE ratio, and their profit doubles because of inflation, the math looks like this. You would be $200 a share over $10 of earnings is $20. But if the profit goes to $20, that means the share needs to jump up to $400 to be even and stay at 20. Now, obviously, there's a lot of things that can change and it can move around, but that's the basic gist. 20 is a pretty average, multiple in the grand scheme of the S&P 500. The share price doubled just because the company adjusts for inflation. You didn't have to work harder. You just had to own the asset. Companies will create the inflation you see at the register, in your bills, and in houses. If you own the companies, you aren't the victim of inflation. You're a beneficiary of it. You can also own other things, other assets like real estate, but a lot of different things. If you own something, inflation is, for the most part, the rise in prices of assets. And if you own the assets, well, congratulations, you're keeping up with inflation most of the time. So stop trying to fight a system you don't own. Keep improving your skills and keep increasing your income, and use that scrimped money to buy assets that grow while you sleep. The best status symbol in 2026 isn't the car that's dropping in value or the beef you can't afford. It's the $0 student loan balance and a portfolio that pays for your coffee. Make it happen today, and I'll see you in the next one.